Right, here we have a Silver Ekko versus a Silver Kha'Zix who has taken Dark Harvest. As always, in low elo, runes and builds are just not what they should be, which is why I tell you, don't try to think too far outside the box. Master your jungling, master your champion, use the builds and runes that work, that are proven to work, and make that variable constant. If you keep changing your runes and builds, you never really truly learn the damage and the tankiness and the output limitations and possibilities of your champion, because you're changing things up too much. So, Ekko with the first strike, this is good. Definitely more for your knowing Ekkos rather than your new Ekkos. But the Kha'Zix, the Dark Harvest, no, you know, it's fine, it works, like I get it. But I just feel like in most Assassins' case, especially in low elo, you gain so much more by learning quickly how to play with first strike. The gold you get in terms of that payback and itemization is way more valuable than worrying too much about your Dark Harvest stacks, which in low elo very rarely ever gets stacked up to the right amount. I mean, it's super low. So Electrocute for guarantee damage, Conquer for your long drawn out fights, and then first strike. So we're smiting a wolf here, which is stupid because Ekko has percentage missing HP on this W passive right there. You see that? Which means it's good to smite the Grump. It's good to smite the red. It's good to smite the blue up front, right? Don't save it for the end, because if you're not being invaded, you're not too much worried about, you know, losing something to a smite contest. You just want to be able to clear as fast as possible, and saving your smite for wolf at the end is not maximizing it. See, now you smite it right now, you'll do more damage because of the passive here in the W, which is why we start that as well. Enemies attacks against enemies below 30% HP deal missing health magic damage. Pretty useful, right? Especially if you want to clear fast. Now, in low elo, obviously we do want to clear fast. Kha'Zix and Ekko. Let's see who's slower of the two. There we go. Okay, over the wall. We do have a smite on the Kha'Zix there, we have a smite on the Ekko. We can use it, but both junglers know they're going upside, right? We're going upside, we're going to be contesting the Scuttle Crab, and both decide to fully commit to finishing off their Grump and their Krugs, which is good because skipping to the Scuttle Crab and then going back to the Grump or the Krugs is statistically the worst clear in the game, because if someone clears faster than you, right, then you're going to be fighting over the Scuttle Crab, but they're level 4, you're level 3. If you want help implementing this information into your own game, I have a free jungle improvement resource, as well as a dedicated program where we have jungle video courses, jungle coaching VOD libraries, weekly free video content seen nowhere else, as well as Q&As and patch note rundowns, as well as a private jungle Discord. And if there's one thing I'm good at, it's converting junglers to gold, to emerald, to diamond, to master plus. If you want to climb faster than anyone you know, jungle diff every game you play, click the link below or head to virkayu.gg. So, Heimerdinger is going to be pushing in a Kale, as always. Turrets are in the way, as always. And now we know Kha'Zix is going to be able to snack up the Scuttle Crab. So we're going to jump into the top lane here, hit the stun onto the Ekko, really try and do as much damage as possible, and he should get easily a return kill, maybe even two, just one. We're forced to flash down. Kha'Zix pushes this down. Now this is where you should just stop. Pump the brakes, go back to base, enjoy the fact that you got away with it, you got a kill. Obviously, that was the first blood I didn't show because it's really irrelevant in terms of this game, because what you don't want to do is walk over to where you know a guy is when you don't have flash, and fortunately we avoid the... There we go, there it is, Kha'Zix. Although, I say there it is, and there apparently it isn't, which is deeply concerning mechanically. The Ekko sees, okay, look, Kha'Zix has taken the Scuttle Crab, I shouldn't be here. The Kha'Zix says, look, I know you flashed, I'm going to go in here with my E and then use the W. What we really want to be using here is the passive auto attack. This will then slow the Ekko and allow us to guarantee follow-up damage via the Q. Now, unfortunately, the Kha'Zix, I feel, waits a little bit too long here, but also you got to watch the animation. See, once he pulls out, you know he's going to W. It's kind of obvious where he's going to W, so at this particular stage, you know you can still catch him a little bit. Now, the problem is when you cancel your auto attack there, did you see that? Very slowly, he canceled his auto attack, which means while he got off his Q, because he canceled the auto attack, Ekko's not dead, and now he gets stunned. You need to make sure that you auto attack and then Q here, because it will guarantee the slow, which will guarantee you'll be in range for the Q, which means the guy dies 100%. So that animation cancel there, which is not a good one, of course, there are good and bad ones, well, I guess we can just call it an auto attack cancel, costs him his life. Almost. Not as really his life, but sanity, respect, or maybe it's still his life. Let's see. Yone shows up obviously from the mid lane. I'm just focusing on whether he lives or dies. Yeah, Yone is a good champion. Now the turret's placed and the Kale is out of position here, so she's going to go for this one. But now let's swap back over. So yes, the Ekko 100% should have died to the Kha'Zix, because the Ekko made a mistake of saying, look, slow clear, I know Kha'Zix is taking that Scuttle Crab, I know it's gone, I'm going to go back to base, go bottom side with Dark Seal, I have itemization advantage, maybe I can get there in time to take it away, gank bottom lane, and prevent the Kha'Zix from, double scuttling me. That's well and good. He makes a mistake. Kha'Zix says, I will punish you. Mechanically makes a mistake, doesn't. But because the Ekko went for this whole plan overall, it causes the death of the Kayle again. And while it's not his fault the Kayle then dies afterwards, it's a domino effect of, hey, if you just went back to base, the Kayle isn't going to be in that situation at all. So do reflect on the chain reactions and not results based, right? Like, Kayle died, so let's analyze it if she's always going to die. No, it's solid for her to help and save you, but then she should stop. She doesn't. But at the same time, it's silver and bronze, they're not going to stop. So, focus on you making the right decision for you and your team in every moment. And typically, these situations are avoided. We're going to go ahead and W and gank the mid lane here. That W comes up way, way, way too soon for Renekton. He's going to have Slice and Dice. Obviously, you got to track that. It's used now. He has a flash up. We are 12 seconds still on that W. Now the Heimerdinger is going to be rotating down as well. Now we're over chasing. We're compromising our experience gain. Yoni's going to ult in here. No one's paying attention to the Heimerdinger for some reason. Now we're going all the way in. Why are you doing this as an Ekko? Right? The champion is strong. He doesn't need buffs. Simply take the Scuttle Crab and go back to clearing. If there's no gank bottom lane, if there's no gank mid lane to be had, do your camps. Now, after I've done the quadrant, low elo strategy, quadrant, wolves, look to gank mid lane if you need to. If Kha'Zix is bottom lane and you can react and clean up, do so. But otherwise, the idea is to keep sequencing again and then potentially cut into mid lane. Now, if Kha'Zix does invest in the bottom side and you do this, what you can do if you're on Raptors, ready to go to Krugs, and you see Kha'Zix lollygagging down here, go ahead and take his topside camps because you know they would have respawned, right? Remember all those timers, yes? Your low elo, I know it's tough, but 420, 440, 5 minutes, 5 minutes 10, and around 5 minutes 35 to 5 minutes 50, these are the respawn timers when someone full close upwards. Yeah? So if you're over here at like 5 minutes 15 now doing your Raptors, you know that this is up and you know that this will be up once you finish them. So if the Kha'Zix wastes his time, free counter jungling. Really, in Silver, learn these timers. You'll just beat everybody by default. And of course, First Strike does give you raw item advantage later on. But this overchase is not so good. And now you cross mid lane, telegraph exactly where you're going. Kha'Zix is level 5 because he did his bottom side quadrant, right? He literally did this, okay? He shouldn't have. He should have seen you go up and then gone into your jungle. And now when the guy shows up here, you finished this already, you trap, you kill him again because you're an assassin and a predator, and you're good to go. Game's over because you'll have unseen passive threat, you have serrated Dirk. You should kill this guy. And obviously, stop doing this. I see even master player Echoes do this. Go Blasting Wand, it's way more effective than Alternator. The AP applies to every part of your kit. And when you are something that does scale insanely well with raw AP, just get the Blasting Wand, guys. Right? Get it. You got it here as well. You got it here. You got it. He's an AP champion. But when you've got point clicks and auto attack passives, Diana's Echoes, that Blasting Wand is massive even on your regular existence. Now the Kha'Zix decides to obsess over his red buff and the dragon, which is the problem here. So this is the second thing, right? The first thing is try and leverage quadrant clearing, like ganking before, do a quadrant gank afterwards. Look for these opportunities rather than full sequencing blindly. But the second thing that they do incorrectly is they just swoop from side to side looking for the brightest, shiniest object in the sky. And they do it all the time, and I don't know why. You can say, yes, we got a dragon, but again, that's results-based. Now, you should know that all of this is gone. You see? This is the low elo-ness. Ekko chases up. 28 CS, right? Full clear, 24. Back to base. Scuttle, 28, crosses the map here. And he chases all the way up and then falls all the way back down here. So I know he must have taken his bottom side. Why would he go back down here and then show mid lane holding a turret, which we saw? So you know all of this is down, but I don't know why you need to hot reflex to your red. He's not invading your red. He's not invading your red. What you do have is this up, and the potential to invade and kill here, should you have enough of a lead and know your matchups. None of this is used by the Kha'Zix. Instead, we randomly go back for red. We just randomly do a dragon. And remember, in Season 14, this at 5 minutes will be grubs, right? Those things that are going to give turret damage to your whole team. So if you're going to go for this, and he sees it, he's going to get some grubs. Which will be stronger? only Season 14 will know, but I guarantee you multiple grubs will do a lot of work on your Trinamirs, on your Yones, on your Caitlyn lanes, and it's going to be important for you to track and not give those away for free blindly. You're going to need to get some yourself. There will be 6 in a game. The first respawn in 5 minutes, and whenever you take one, 4 minutes respawn on the next one, okay? In the meantime, we have a mid lane fight with Morgana and the Yone versus Renekton. The Kha'Zix does rotate over. So this, you know, are we happy with his plays? No. But given you are in a situation and you have no choice, I mean, I don't think you even need to finish these Raptors. Like, finishing these Raptors is already a little silly, but maybe you can bait in a shove here, which I think it's honestly well played. Like, if you're communicating, we missed a W. If you're communicating, if you just say, okay, look, the next wave's coming in, you can bait it in, go all in with your ultimate. I'll do the Raptors, and then we merge and make good fisting, which is what they did. Ekko shows up here, and now you already see the damage that the Kha'Zix has. Just from that Serrated Dirk, which is why I kind of wanted him to use it, and he didn't. So, I'm slightly upset about that. But what can you do? Ekko now pure waffling. Pure waffling from both junglers, but at least the Kha'Zix, you know, full clear, did the scuttle, tried the trap, mechanically misplayed, unlucky, did live though, was still able to get 2 kills here, get a dragon, finish off the bottom side quadrant twice. Like, he's in a decent position, and the Ekko is just kind of wandering around and doesn't seem to have the same sort of purpose. Even though he has gotten the kill, you know, on the top lane, that was fine, but that's all he's done. What have you done for me lately? And now we're going to the bottom side, which makes no sense at all, because while you might get stuff in this situation, right? Let's see what we get total, because his eye is kiting him out, waiting for the ghost. You know, yes! Good job, Kha'Zix. This is exactly what we want from the Kha'Zix. That's it. Hey, Ekko, why are you down bottom side? Thanks for the herald. So, while I'm not happy with the random waffling into a dragon, because it's way too risky, given that we did it, we rotated, got 2 kills, and given that we did it, and Ekko goes bottom lane with no objective up, it's good that we ensured we got the herald. So all of these things are good things. Let's see what happens now. Again, over chasing the Renekton. It's a level 10 Renekton. You're level 7. Yeah, you have your ult, but he's just waiting for the spells to come up, and he's waiting for the Kha'Zix to collapse here, right? Like, this is just silly from the Ekko. Now his ult's in a really precarious situation. Don't quite get that one there. Ult backwards. It's a waste of your ult. What's the gold amount here? 4,000 to 4,500, which doesn't seem like much, but then you remember that the Kha'Zix has herald to be used on plates. The brand presses buttons, and the buttons he presses represent his name. I think that was not so good. Brand is not that difficult, guys. Not that difficult. The positioning is important, but just don't spam abilities when you're not even in range for them. It makes no sense. Get people ablaze. Use the bonus that you have in your spells here. Hit the Q, right? Q is the stun. And that's because everyone's kind of thinking about playing Brand Jungle at the moment. It's obviously very good. I've made content on this channel, all my channels actually. If someone's ablaze, which means hit with the spell, and they get this passive attributed to them, the abilities do different damage, okay? And obviously you've got your dot ticks and things like this. So if the target is ablaze, you get a stun for 1.5 seconds. W is extra, sorry, that's a Q. W is extra damage, decent amount, and E is extra range, okay? The spread range is doubled. So, depends really what you want to use, but ideally, if you can hit an E on someone, get them ablaze, you got a Q that you can easily hit now, right? That stuns them and that guarantees your W damage. So, it's just about layering abilities, but I see way too many brands just chuck out a Q, chuck out a W, they use the E randomly, you know, they hit random Ws, but don't maximize their Q stun, and then the ult, which prioritizes ablaze targets, is hitting nothing. It's just... it's a mess, man. Learn to stack your abilities. Kha'Zix now says, alright, I've gone back to base. I got my Ghost Blade, obviously he did that already. Ekko's so far behind in the spending department, goes back to get his Rocket Belt. And while Futures Market does give us value here, he's not really using it for anything. This is, I guess, the third thing that is being done incorrectly this game. The quadrant mishaps, the waffle spaghetti pathing back and forth, not really thinking about any sort of flow. The third thing could be the over chasing. I don't know why we just leave things and go to the other side of the map chasing something. The fourth thing is, without a doubt, not focusing at all on one's impact on the map objective-wise, and not reconciling his pathing with that direction. Like, he's showing top lane now level 8 to a level 11. He's not paying attention to his levels relevant to the laners. He's not pathing to where the objectives are. He's not pathing to where the farming is, as Kale kills the Kha'Zix, which I guess we all assumed. We're forced to ult here. You can use your smite on the champion, you know? Use your smite to guarantee the auto attacks. More mechanical advantage. Kale is starting to come online a little bit. Still a long way to go, but level 11 Kale is always useful. Let's see how she ends up doing. Kha'Zix obviously makes the same mistake as the Ekko. They're chasing down someone who is not of the right level. He falls behind in levels very temporarily, and now he's like, let me just go over here because I'm forced to use my Herald. This is something also we didn't even talk about because we're focusing on the Ekko a little bit more. Didn't get to use the Herald. Completely wasted that opportunity. And if you are thinking about that and paying attention to that, good on you. Like, that means you are destined for gold, because most low elo junglers just don't think about using the Herald properly, pathing to the objective side, looking at the level gaps in the lanes and themselves. You should not be behind top laners and laners by 3 levels. If you are, right, it's a you issue. Because while top laners can very easily be 2 levels up and so on, 1 level up, you know, when you're down 3 levels to multiple solo laners every game, it's because your econ and your experience econ is just terrible. Your farming's inconsistent, you're wandering around doing nothing, you're making bad decisions when it comes to fights. You should not be the same level as an ADC. The jungle experience is not that bad. Ekko now out of base, nice rotation onto the Renekton, nice W stun. His ult is procced here, we're over chasing him, brand flashes of the wall. He goes for the mega stuns, which of course we do get in this particular case. Bouncy goes the Ablaze, whatever it's called. Pyroclasm. I forgot. And now the Ekko is obviously, you know, you kind of want to use your W there, but he flashes in to get it and dies for it, when he could have just flashed over the wall and E'd away and run away and survived. Which one would you choose? Yeah. Level 12 Kale now. You know, the mechanics are not always going to be good in low elo. We know this. But I feel like that kind of stuff isn't a mechanical issue. It's a general thinking issue, you know? Should I be over chasing the scenario and turret diving someone when I know they're going to root me? And I think if you can start to elevate your mindset in low elo to, okay, look, I'm going to do this. What can they do about it? The Kale's just like, I can chase down the Zai and kill her. Doesn't think about the fact that the Zai can root her under the turret and cause her death. So, large underestimation there by basically everyone mechanically. But the Ekko's now 2-1-3, solid recovery KDA-wise. Kha'Zix has now wasted a few opportunities, his 2-2-4. Honestly, they swapped around. The Ekko hasn't really done anything, he's just shown up. Right, let's see what we can do now. There's no objective other than the second Herald coming up, so in true form, the Ekko will say, listen, you know, listen, there's a Herald top side, I'm going to go die. Or not die, dive, bottom lane. Oh, no, he did die, actually. I meant to say dive, and then I saw the Kha'Zix, my brain was skipping a jump. But the Kha'Zix here isn't going for that Herald at all. I think here the top laner can easily go for that. I'm not adverse to this kind of rotation at this particular stage, because you got the third Dragon coming up. Do we need that Herald? Not necessarily, but I mean, I still would probably be going for this, you know. It's a bottom lane, please don't die to it. If you do, you know, oh well, at least we get this, I get this. I can maybe gank and kill this, we can gank this and chop this, like... There's a lot of cool things you can do mid and top with the Herald, and counter jungling wise, there's a Kha'Zix if you don't rotate to the bottom. As we evolve our W, now we have mega span on that W. We have a slow as well, it gets provided when you evolve it. There you go. It is obviously now at 40% by 2 seconds. Yeah, it used to be 90%. It used to be 90% for the sorry. It used to be 90% for the isolated targets. It's 45% for base, but 75% if they're isolated. It used to be 90% if they're isolated. So that is, you know, it's still strong 75% when isolated, but 90% is really something different. You feel 90% slows quite frequently. They take this bottom turret. And now the Jinx is pushing this in a little bit. Ekko again, like, they're just not in position for objectives at all. And like I've explained to multiple people, the coaching classes in the private Discord and in the courses all the time we talk about this, please understand that while killing someone and then taking an objective is good, hey, we got a kill, can we do a dragon? Yes. Hey, we got a kill, can we take a turret? Good. There's also the thing, a challenge, in fact, where you get points in your challenges, like the challenges in the client, for doing objectives within 30 seconds of their spawn. So, if you're able to set up properly and quickly take objectives super fast, the Kha'Zix has done a solid job of that, then you might not have a higher kill conversion ratio, as everyone is just fighting and dying, by the way. I don't think I need to commentate on this, right? It's just a long fist and everyone's just killing each other and there's no real purpose yet because the objective's dead. So if the objective is dead and you don't need to chase and you can push waves up, do it, right? Also huge. So try and focus, more importantly. You can get a kill and get an objective. Good job. Go you. Well done. But also focus on, hey, can I just take the objective as it spawns? Like, do I even need to kill anyone? Because maybe no one's in position. Like, the Ekko's never in position. The bottom lanes are rarely in position. Maybe I can just do the objective for free. And I don't have to worry about mechanically outplaying anybody. And in low elo, you can really, really do that. So, Kha'Zix now has 2 items. Huge for him. Witch Assassin at, you know, he's up 500 gold, but still close. Which assassin will take over? Let's find out. Because both assassins now, you've got a reasonably equal game. All right, 3 dragons to 0 is pretty big, though. Baron is available. And again, we're pathing downward. Look at the map. We see all of this. I'm worried about the potential of the dragon here. Renekton decides to go in, so we're going to go for the slows. But that champion is so disgusting. It's the champion is just like that. No one likes Renekton at the moment. He didn't even build Gold Drinker, which is obviously annoying. He just built full damage, and you can see the damage. He will be killable, but whether we have the CC to do so is a separate issue. Looks a bit of a mid gap, I think. Kale TP's in here to hold this wave. Renekton was seen going down, now they shadow back up. Brand is going to chuck out W poke. Obviously, his damage will start to come online as well. He's got the Leandries here building up nicely. This is where low elo loses. Can we take some people out and push waves up? You know, like this, and these camps, and this wave, and turrets. Like, you don't all need to go ARAM now. You've killed 3 people. What can we do to win the game? Instead, I don't know what that flash was. Instead, we're just overcommitting a little bit, not really taking anything, not priming the map up for any sort of objective secure, and it just wastes time. So, like, you get multiple kills here. If you can't do Baron and you can't really siege this up, push these waves in all the way as the blue team. Push it and push it in. You've got numbers advantage. Use it to push in, all right? And blue team just didn't do that. They didn't do that. That's the low elo problem. That's why you don't close games out. So, red team again, reset up. Over the wall, hello ADC. If you're an assassin here and you can't one-shot the ADC without just getting out, that's a problem. It's 22 minutes. You know, the Xayah has 7.6, you have 8.4. That's not a big enough lead. We really do need, as an assassin, to be able to kill an ADC stepping out of position. Over the wall with the W, that misses. We do have the ability to ult out, turrets and so on, black shields and Morganas. Kha'Zix now is deciding to chase people down. We're going to go for the smite here. Yone uses his E, which means he's going to get queued and killed. Kalo's just split pushing on the bottom side, obviously at the same time. Curious to see how the Kha'Zix plays this. Because the Ekko is not playing it super good. Both are not playing extraordinarily well. I think they're playing solid, but they're playing for their elo. You know, when you're 5-3-5, 4-3-5, the Kha'Zix has way more farm, which is what I do like. Way more objectives, which is what I do like. Like, if he does this, more often than not, he will climb to gold before the end of the season. But you got to remember that impact early, the lack of waffling. Just keep that in your mind. Ekko comes out of base. We're getting strong, needlessly large rod. Soul point is coming up. The question of all questions is, do you give up the soul in this particular game? Now, if I'm Kha'Zix's team here, and you want to end the game, you let them have this dragon, because they have to go for it to stop the soul. And you guys, especially with the Kha'Zix and Renekton, just go and do this. Because now, of course, the Kha'Zix has evolved W, which means you also get heals, right? Mega heals. So you can just go ahead and do this with Renekton. I'm pretty sure you can just 2-man it. And obviously, you've got the Heimerdinger, which can as well. Kha'Zix jumps in with the Renekton and just say, you know what, actually, virkayu, you're an idiot. We want to have fun. And they're contesting, so we're just going to kill them. But from Ekko's point of view, you're like, well, where's my team? Why is no one setting up here? Where were you the first 12 objectives of the game? Wrong side of the map. Not setting up, not thinking about it. You cost your team in this particular case. Like, all of this is a setup from Kha'Zix's early phase, and Renekton's played well as well. There we go. I don't think we need to worry about a steal if you're blue team. Juicy. And now they're going for a chase down, when I feel like with Ekko being dead, no, actually, you know what, this is fine. Xayah is showing up. If you can win the fight, Kha'Zix just obliterates. Yes, that's nice, double kill. Yeah, well played. See, now you can go straight to the Baron. Now you can reset and maybe do something. But I think what we want to do here is obviously Kha'Zix is not paying attention to the Yone. He's doing the camps instead. But, I mean, this could really be an easy kill here. But obviously, remember, back timings, vision, track this stuff. Brand's like, hey, I want to I want to set a trap here. Kha'Zix says, yeah, I'm down for that. We do get the stun there. 1Q does it. Juicy, juicy. Yone will live to fight another day. But yes, as I was saying, as an assassin, now you just want to keep this numbers advantage. So you make 2 picks, you get a dragon, you follow up that fight with another 2 kills. Everyone is now distorted from the red team, right? So they're not going to be able to set their feet at all. If you can all base and go for a Baron, do so. But otherwise, this is good, right? Just keep pushing. We get that slow there. Healer's burned. Obviously, don't overcommit for the Yone. He does get to reset on the bottom side. Brand is going to hit that WQ, which of course he does. Then he hits that Mega E Gaming. Super range. Now we go back to base. If everyone's together, that's a huge amount of gold you just spent, right? The game was a lot closer the last time. Obviously, people are going to overcommit and die anyway. Renekton, maybe we can get some kills here. Yes, we can. And he will die. See, he's squishy. You can't kill him. Ekko's like, yes, I got something, but he's going to have to ult or die to the damage. Kha'Zix comes straight out of base here, gets himself, forces the flash, does the smite here. Going to try and reposition, which of course we do. And we hit that W. Beautifully done. Now that should be, hopefully, a free Baron for everybody. We don't need to Renekton. Guys, you can go, the jungler's dead, Kael's dead, go to the, 3 dead, go. It was going so well. So, yes, dragon, picks, dragon, more picks, more picks, more picks, turret, base. More picks, now we go Baron. There's nothing else to do. Go Baron and end the game. You don't need to take the inhib right now. I know you can, and I know you're getting these kills, but think about it. What if the Yone and the Morgana were just going to wave clear? I'm okay with you taking an inhib here. I just feel like you don't need your whole team to do this, and you can do the Baron so easily. I like the Baron here because in low elo, it's a case of now they have supers running at their base, right? They will get fed from this. It's a Kael, it's an Ekko, he's still strong, it's a Yone, it's a Jinx. They will get fed from these supers. So sure, you're going to go and reset and do this Baron right now, but most teams should know that, hey, they haven't reset yet. So you get 1600 on the Ekko, 1100 on Xayah, 1100 on the Brand. This is something you could, in theory, just send everyone to go and contest. And because you've all spent your gold, the gold lead's a lot equal than you think, and maybe they could pick you off, right? And actually be able to get the Baron themselves. And, as a side note, while this is a good trap, okay, and you can't do it this way, it's more a case of, look, I know Soul Point is going to be coming up in the not-too-distant future. Why don't we just do the Baron very quickly? Everyone resets, we all spawn together. Now we can shove up in like a huge macro pressure, get our entire base, and if we don't end, we have the Elder to fall back to. Just more where my mind goes, but this isn't wrong, right? This isn't inherently wrong. This pressure is huge. It's just... And of course you do it super quickly, so it's not wrong. Don't get me wrong. I do like the inhib take, but I'm so used to, I guess, having like a Yone or a Hullbreaker, someone who can do this by themselves, but in the end, it doesn't matter too much. But you see the Kael, you know, takes this now. And if you have a Baron with people splitting, these things are less likely to coin flip. So that's just more the idea behind it. But I've linked below a macro for the mid and the late game, considering all of these options, like when you should do one and when you should do the other, what triggers do we look for. So, as always, nuance, not black and white, not always and never. And in this particular case, the always and never is the Kha'Zix is destroying the Ekko, and the Ekko has nothing to do about this game anymore. He just let himself fall out of control, and the Kha'Zix is chasing everybody down, and actually does a super job taking over in this mid to late game, playing off of his team, being present with his team, making the good picks. The enemy team never got to teamfight because of these picks, had total objective control in this game. My zoom went away. Let's zoom out for the end. There you go. And really, really nice job by the Kha'Zix overall, and the blue team overall. He might even die here if the Kael's focusing on. She decides not to focus on that, giving him a better KDA. virkayu GG for all your jungle stuff and theory and learnings and gamings and reaching your peaks before the end of the season. And as always, I'll see you all in the next explosion.